Hi, I'm Jamie Bonk, and this is No Tuition. I've always admired artists who have a strong work ethic. Artists who seem to be in a perpetual state of motion. Singer, songwriter, and guitarist Nolan Hubbard is one such artist. Nolan just released his debut album Luminosity, along with a supporting video for the single Today. Nolan's currently on tour and spoke with me on his day off. See, there's that work ethic again. So, without further ado, here's Nolan Hubbard. So, hey Nolan, how's the new tour going?
Absolutely awesome. We're really enjoying getting out there on the road, and it's nice to finally be playing with the full four-piece band behind me.
Oh, fantastic. And who do you have in the band?
So it's all good friends of mine. The bass player, you know him, is Jose or Bill Bertram, and he's actually from Brazil, and he's a great bass player. And on guitar, we've got my good friend Matt Ozzie, and he just finished school at York University. And then I've got my buddy Mike Kushner playing the drums, and he's been playing in bands for a long time, and he's also a great drum teacher.
Okay, fantastic. So you've performed in a number of different configurations, everything from a solo setup to a full band. Does the format change your approach to the music?
Definitely. I mean, my solo shows are generally pretty, like I have a kind of a formula because I need to, keep that rhythm going and do my thing. But even as soon as I start playing with a duo, and especially when I get that full four-piece band going, we really start to kind of have a little more fun with it and get a little more creative with the arrangements of the songs.
And that leads nicely into my next question. So some artists want to do verbatim versions of their recorded music when playing live. Other artists use the recording as a starting place. How important is it for you to be faithful to the recordings when performing?
I definitely think people who have heard the record want to hear those certain little parts that make the song on the record kind of the way it is. And we definitely stay true to that live. There's little hooks and things that we can't really go without. Yeah. But that being said, I think that when you come to a live show, you're expecting something different. And we really try to bring that to the table. Yeah.
So solos are, instead of 8 bars or 32 bars, that sort of thing? You're extending out sections of the song, key changes, tempo changes, or is it more using the recording as a starting place and jumping off?
We definitely, when it comes to intros, outros, and even just the straight up dynamics of the song, we really like to play around with those things, and it feels nice to be able to say, hey, take a solo, Matt, or something, and we get to improv and play off each other, and sometimes maybe we have a little bit too much fun and extend for a lot more than 8 bars, but yeah.
Right on. Cool. Okay, in the past, you've booked tours all on your own, which is obviously difficult to do. Are you booking your current tour yourself?
Yeah, actually. I was fortunate enough to be doing this tour with a Toronto group called Forest, and they also did some of the booking. They had their hand in that. But for most of the kind of summer and spring tours that I've been doing, I've been, I guess, doing all the push and the shove when it comes to that.
All the heavy lifting yourself?
Yeah.
So do you like doing that sort of thing? I know some indie musicians hate it, some love it. Do you like the business side?
I actually do. I love the connections it gives me the opportunity to make, and having a personal relationship with the people of the industry and the venue owners, and it gives me a little more chance to kind of put on the shows that I love to put on, and have a little more say in how the flow of the night goes and that kind of thing.
Do you foresee in the future continuing doing the business stuff? Or is that something you're going to hand off to a team? How do you see that?
I think I'm always going to be learning and moving forward doing the business stuff. I've learned a lot in the just booking these tours on my own, and I want to continue definitely to work on that. But down the road, as things expand and as I get more things going on in my life, I think time wise it'll definitely be beneficial for me to look into getting a team, whether it be management or tour managers or that kind of thing.
Yep, right on. So you have a new album out, Luminosity. So let's talk a bit about the writing process for the album. When did you start working on the record?
I mean, I'd always been wanting to write songs, and I think the initial kind of bulk of the writing started around the fall, kind of October, November of 2015.
Okay, and so your record came out in 2017, so about a couple year
Yeah.
period kind of writing?
Yeah, I mean, I would say all the writing was done between kind of the June of 2016 and like I said, that kind of fall 2015. It was all done in less than a year's period, and that year gap between when the record actually came out and when we started recording, I was still writing, but the music was all preceding that.
And do you have a set workflow for when you're writing, for when you're composing? Is it, sit down with a guitar every morning?
Not entirely.
Now?
Yeah, I try to set a little time aside every day to explore new ideas and work on old stuff, new stuff, and even just try to come up with something entirely new.
And are you writing those ideas down? Are you recording them into your phone, singing into your phone, or how are you documenting them?
My main thing is doing either the photo booth app on my computer here, or just little voice memos on my phone. That generally is my data bank for all new things. Yeah.
Cool. Did you demo the tunes before going in to do Luminosity?
A little bit, yeah. Like I recorded all the just acoustic guitar vocals here at home through my little interface, and tried to get at least the bare necessity down to a click.
And is that just you playing guitar and singing, or are you adding bass, drums to those recordings, trying to get a general sense of what your record is going to be like, or is it just to document the underlying tune?
It was music. There's a few tunes where I would redub guitars, and if there was like a melody line that I knew was kind of quintessential to how I wanted the song to sound, but for the vast majority it was just me and my guitar.
Cool. Okay, so you used a producer and studio musicians on Luminosity. What did those other voices bring to the record?
A lot in terms of kind of the final product. I was fortunate enough to be working with a group of guys that were really good listeners, and they kind of wanted the same product as me, and kind of made sure I was cool with everything that was going on. But that being said, they definitely brought a level of experience and maturity to the ideas that I had, for sure.
And how long did the recording take to make?
The vast majority of the actual parts, like we did it down in Nashville, and I think we did the rhythm section in a day and a half, like the bass and drums.
Wow, fantastic.
And then we did. Oh, these guys are just awesome.
Yeah,
I was very fortunate that way. And the guitars took maybe another 3-4 days, and then there was kind of a period we took off and kind of sat on those ideas for a little bit and talked about what's next. And then we spent maybe 2 months in the studio dubbing vocals, harmonies, my acoustic guitar parts, pianos, keys, pads, all that juicy stuff.
Yeah, cool. Ear candy.
Yeah.
Okay, so locale sometimes can impart a unique perspective on music. Do you feel recording in Nashville changed the music or your music in any way?
I think a touch. Like I don't think it strayed too far from small town Canadian me, but that being said, it definitely you can hear a little bit of that influence of kind of the Music City twang and that kind of thing.
Okay, let's move on to some gear talk. So, you're primarily an acoustic player. I know you play electric as well, but for most what I've seen, you're primarily an acoustic player. Why have you chosen to focus on the acoustic? What is it about the acoustic that you feel drawn to?
I think it started as just the self proficiency. I wanted to be able to do my own thing. Pick up a guitar wherever I am and
Hmm.
sing a song and kind of catch an audience that way. But over time, I've kind of expanded more into using it as my guitar in different ways, like writing parts and doing solos and that kind of thing. I've kind of found my home on it and developed my style of playing farther than I thought I would. I thought I was just gonna kind of be a rhythm player and back myself up that way, but I've really been enjoying kind of exploring what it has to offer to me in
Hmm.
terms of a guitar player.
And any favorite guitars? Any one guitar that speaks to you more than another guitar?
It's my Taylor, my full
Yeah.
mahogany dreadnought Taylor. That's when I went to buy a guitar, I really didn't think it was going to be a Taylor because I'd played a Taylor a couple times before, and I wasn't a huge fan of especially their onboard system. I wasn't big on that, but
And you
when I
have
picked up this guitar and
sorry, you have a magnetic pickup in it, or
an LR bags, yeah,
yeah,
the M100, I think the active.
and you dig it
Um,
more than the internal system on the Taylor?
Personally, yeah, I mean, I like the brightness of the internal system, and I've learned to love that a little more. But in terms of my stuff and the style that I've developed, I really gravitate towards that magnetic pickup.
And is it the mahogany because it's a kind of a warmer, more mid-rangey sound that you kind of dig versus a
Yeah,
spruce rosewood?
yeah, I like to have a little more punch, a little more beef when it comes to the low end, and be able to kind of feel that that low end when it's just me on stage and
Yeah.
uh, get a good dynamic range out of it.
And it's always, to me, it seems like mahogany guitars have a little more note separation. They just seem like the notes are just a little bit more defined. Not always. It's like,
Yeah,
it's kind of, that's my,
yeah, it's guitar to guitar, but I agree in that sense with you, and I think that's what drew me to it in the first place.
and so what's your live setup like? Are you using any effects, acoustic amp, going like straight to the house?
Really bare bone. It's pretty much just DI straight to the house, and throw a touch of reverb on there, and
Do you
um,
carry your own DI or is it,
I do, yeah. I just got my own little, you know, run of the mill DI, but as for my solo shows, when I'm using my own PA, it's my board does have a kind of an onboard effects thing, and um, I have played with that a lot in the last couple of months, and kind of found my niche sound with that
cool?
straight through the board. But gonna be honest, I'm not a huge guy when it comes to the pedal board thing, and
So no,
it scares me a little.
like no reverbs, no delays, no. You're just basically
Not
going,
currently.
wow, right on.
No, I've
Not even EQ. You don't like no.
uh not really. I mean, I EQ it myself through the board, but other than that, it's all just kind of right off
Oh,
the.
you're hardcore, man.
I don't
Right
know. I just
on,
got so used to the sound of the
man.
natural guitar.
If you dig the sound, then you dig the sound, and then like for
Yeah,
me, the fewer things between me and the listener, the better. The more
yeah,
stuff you add, the more stuff that's in the way. Sometimes. Um,
yeah.
So are you using the same gear for recording that you use live? Is it the same, you know, your Taylor we're using, that you use live? Are you using that in the studio, or are you completely different gear in the studio?
Actually, I didn't use the Taylor. I think I used it for one. I think I used it for the song today. I think I used it for that kind of intro picky part. But other than that, I was using just the studio's. I used a J45 for a little bit, and then I think maybe a Martin D18. I think that was the one that I did some rhythm tracks on.
And you're miking them all up, I'm guessing, versus
Yeah,
like
it was all just
yeah.
in the
Okay.
booth.
All
Yeah.
right, right on. So okay, in addition to all of your live performances, you've done quite a bit of video work. Everything from intimate single camera cover tunes to more produced videos like for your tune today. In some ways, video is now critical to a musician's career. What do you feel makes for a successful video?
Uh, I think what I look to do in a video, and what I love to see in other people's videos is, um, I love a really good live session. I love something that is raw, authentic. You can tell you're seeing what you're hearing,
Hmm.
and that's a big thing to me, and something I really want to get back into. I've been slacking a little bit lately, but I really want to get back into that kind of, here I am uncut,
Hmm.
no nonsense kind of. Here's what I can do, and
Yeah.
I think that makes for something that people can really hold on to, because you hear your favorite songs in that way, and sometimes that does something special to the song.
Yeah, I think it speaks to the listeners too, and it's like talent in front of the mic or in front of the camera. Here's the
Yeah.
song. It's not nothing wrong with auto tuning and all that other stuff. But
No, no,
basically,
no.
I'm not knocking these tools, but I'm just saying for a listener, sometimes you get
Absolutely.
a deeper sense of the artist when you see them in that raw format. So do you plan to do any more videos for the tracks on Luminosity? Like any more of those sort of produced
Yeah.
videos?
We're we're gonna do we're gonna do some live sessions coming up, in studio,
Yeah.
and get the full band in there, and kind of do a series of sessions,
With,
and
with the same production team you used for today?
we're kind of thinking of actually doing it more ourselves. I think the same videographer as the Today music video, as well as the live session we did.
Hmm.
But between me and Bill, or Jose, we've been researching and kind of learning our way around the producer's helm, and
Yeah.
gonna try and do a little more of that on our own.
Well, it's sort of another skill that musicians kind of sort of need now. The whole video
Yeah.
thing, and it's um I'm sure there are artists out there who don't do videos at all, but they're probably, fewer and fewer far between. So I was going to
Yeah.
ask you about your new tunes, but you were sort of saying you were writing basically all the time, kind of it's an ongoing process for you. So
Yeah.
is it age old question, lyrics or music first?
It's song to song. I'm gonna say the majority of the stuff that I do starts with the guitar,
Hmm.
and
And is it chords that you're mainly doing, like a harmonic thing or a melodic thing, or maybe?
it's it's almost a rhythmic thing mixed with a harmonic thing. Like I like to create a part that I can play. I can envision me playing this solo, and a little bit lately, I've now that I'm playing with the band, I've stepped back from that to leave room for, what if I only did this, like, and opened that up to the rest of the band playing with me. Um, but the vast majority of my writing is I start with a guitar part that, I kind of do that pluck and chuck kind of a thing, and
Mhm.
it usually starts with that, and melody comes kind of, I scat it out, and sometimes the words are right there though. Like when I wrote today, I remember the first line, I sang it before I even had the guitar part to it. So So every once in a blue moon, I'll come up with an idea that purely vocal and try to write around that. But yeah, I like the
If
the
you're
guitar
out
one.
driving, you got to race home and record it. And
Yeah, that's the voice memo thing. You know,
Yeah.
I've got plenty of in the car
So,
clips.
okay, do you like playing your unreleased material live before recording it? Because I know you do so many gigs, and if you're writing all the time, is
That's where it sees the light of day. Really,
Mhm.
like this tour, I think we've got 5 new songs that we've been playing, and honestly, those are some of our favorite to play because people aren't expecting to hear these new ones, and
Mhm.
it gives us a chance to really explore some new options with them.
And I think that was something that was really quite common in previous generations, where people would take a new song and then play it live, and then go back to the drawing board and say, okay, I want to change this or that before they went to the studio. And now
Yeah,
we've kind of, in this era, it's kind of flipped on its head, where basically people are always recording something first and then playing it afterwards.
right. I think I've learned a ton doing it that old kind of a way, and seeing what people love and uh, what people respond well to, and kind of feeling it out on my own. Does this feel fun to play live? Uh, how could I envision this on a record? That kind of
Right
thing.
on. So what's up next for you? Another record, gigs, more videos. You obviously more videos you're talking about.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely gonna probably do another music video. I won't say which song. I'll keep at least that secret. But I think I'm gonna do another music video as well as a whole ton of live sessions this year coming up for sure. From full band to stripped back acoustic to duo trio kind of stuff. And I do envision I'll probably put out a single in the next, down the line from now,
Mhm.
before I even start thinking about a record, because that seems to be kind of the way things are going, and
Yeah.
I have new songs that I want to get out there,
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah, I was going
as
to
soon
ask
as
you
I
about
can.
that. The format thing now is sort of, again, that's another thing that's kind of really changed. At one point, it was all singles. Then we sort of moved into the album era, and now it's sort of seems like we moved back to a singles based era. And you released an entire record, which is that's fantastic. But did you want to put out? Obviously, you said singles. Do you want to do EPs in the future? Sort of
I've
smaller format productions.
Yeah, I've been really thinking about uh, that kind of EP style. I love some of my favorite records are just those 4 or 5 song
Yeah,
EPs and
yeah.
debuts like that, and I love that kind of stuff. And I think definitely some singles on the way, and who knows what the next project. It could be an even longer album, could be an EP. You really have to see, I guess, where the music brings you, and whether or not it's something that requires that kind of full, expansive album to say what you need to say, or whether or not it's an EP thing. I don't know.
You keep us in suspense.
I guess so. Yeah.
And so, how many more dates on this tour have you guys got?
Today's the day off, and we've got 3 more. We're just hitting tomorrow night. We're in Guelph, then London Friday night, and the big finale in Toronto on Saturday night.
That's just fantastic. Well, thanks so much for doing this chat with me. I really do appreciate it, and best of luck on the rest of your tour.
Thank you very much, Jamie. It was great to talk to you.